All right, we're turning it up and diving deep into the story of one of Canada's most enduring rock bands, the Trews. Hailing from Antigonish, Nova Scotia, the Trews have spent more than 2 decades conquering the Canadian rock scene with high-energy performances, soaring vocals, and songs that hit both the heart and in the arena.
They delivered hits like Not Ready to Go, Highway of Heroes, building a reputation of rock's hardest working band.
Now they're back in 2025 with their newest studio album, The Bloody Light.
Yeah.
The record promises to bring fresh intensity while staying true to the rock roots that define the Trews sound.
It's time to rock with the Trews.
Yay! Welcome to Click and Tell, guys.
I'm so excited to be here with you guys.
Really good.
Welcome to Click and Tell. And we were just talking right before that we kind of pulled from your social media. And I feel like it's been around for now 10, 12 years. And there's a journey that we've seen people go through where your highs or lows and what was I wearing that day? Kind of, oh my gosh. And it's exciting for us to see that journey and telling us the story behind that post. But you just mentioned that you cleared out your social.
I've seen other people do this, and it looks so cathartic to me to just like empty the bucket, empty the bin of all the posts. And it was really tough because you get like, looking through them, you're like, well, that was cool. I want to remember that. But then you're like, once you commit, no, doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to 0 today. I'm going to 0 posts as of today.
So what did you clear out?
Yeah.
3,000 or 4,000 photos.
How do you decide what to get rid of?
The idea was we wanted to start kind of hyping our new record and our new singles at the beginning of the year. So the idea was to kind of clear and make people think like, oh, what's going on? Then you start with a countdown to the new thing, which is what was the impetus.
That was the But I tell you, as the guy who did the deleting, it felt pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just like so much, it feels like baggage after a while. And also, when was the last time you hopped on somebody's feed and scrolled back 5 years?
Was there, were you getting messages from him like, oh my gosh, do you remember this? We have this, this moment, that moment, that kind of thing? No, you were just like, I'm getting rid of everything.
Yeah, he just got rid of it,
But isn't it funny to go back and, because we joined in like 2012 or something, to look at how innocent and silly it was. And same with Twitter. Twitter was such a silly, you could like display your silly side. It wasn't so curated, and it wasn't so like market driven. Like everything now is like an ask, and it's curated, and it's got a link, and it's got a call to action, and that came like 5 years in. Before it was just pure silliness. And it was nice back. Those were the hardest ones to delete.
Did you feel the impact of doing social media for your career as artist and your band? Did you see the impact of it? I mean, because you mentioned marketing.
I mean, we came into we were signed and had like a record out by 2003. So we were like at the tail end of the old model, I guess. And we were very late adopters to the social media. We were very hesitant with it. We're like, I don't know about this. But then when the pandemic hit, and I know this is really late for most people, but then we needed it so badly that it really kind of saved a lot of musicians' careers, just being able to be in touch with your fans. So we were always doing it, but I think we got really into it after that.
When it became the only outlet.
Every few years, there's this seems to feel like there's a seismic shift in the way music is either recorded or distributed or shown to people. Having, I guess, formed in '97, really, like you said, 2003 being your big like, hello, we're here. Have you guys found it difficult or easy to kind of navigate those different changes?
I think you don't really have much choice but to embrace. So when we started as a band, by the time we became cognizant of the industry, the industry was already crying foul about downloading, and it was like we never got to experience like full physical medium of music as the only thing. And so we always just, I think we learned early on that you have to roll with it because we weren't going to give up because the medium changed. You know what I mean? Like we're like, no, we're committed to making music. It doesn't really matter how it gets to people. It just has to get to people. And so there was no point in like, so I think that was like a good early experience for us to have because then we did learn like you're going to have to roll with it. If you're going to be in this, because really it's not about selling tonnage of plastic CDs, and it's not about selling tonnage of wax records, and it's not about streaming will eventually morph. It has to. If history's taught us anything, it's that it will change. So we're just in the business of getting our music to the people that want to hear it. And that is going to constantly be in flux. And to fight it is like to limit yourself.
So for all of you, like when you're on stage now talking about connecting with your fans and all of this other stuff, the social media aspect, the market, all that. But then you hit the stage, you're in front of your fans, and you feel the love.
Yeah.
You take that all in.
That's like the one constant, like no matter how the music gets out there physically, like when people come to see the show, then, you know, we can do what we do.
Well, we do want to get into this.
Yeah.
Because as much as you said you cleared stuff out, there's still a ton of stuff in there to talk
So
about.
I think you missed Facebook.
It was only Instagram.
Okay, so you can pick one.
Go for it.
Oh, we just pick up.
Yeah,
Just
pick
pick one.
whichever, yeah. There you go. Let's start with that. New record.
This is our brand new album. It just came. It's the cover of our brand new album. We're really proud of it. This picture was taken in January of 2025, and we went to a really cool photographer's studio. It was kind of a makeshift studio because it was in the loft of a friend of his. Did a bunch of these pictures. Initially, wasn't this an American flag originally?
Yeah, so Paul literally he was looking to make like a kind of gritty, cool environment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was just grabbing things that were around. So I think like the amp was his and these were his own books, but then the couch came out of the dumpster behind him.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And it was like a really cool vintage couch.
Yeah.
And this guitar I think it was just at the studio. It was a kind of a prop. But the funny thing was, he wanted to imitate the cover of a Grateful Dead album, and he threw the American flag over the couch.
And it was the same week Trump was trying
And we were
to
like,
annex us. So we were like, no.
Maybe.
Do the photo, but you got to lose that flag.
The flag, yeah.
British one. We're like, oh, we can throw that one on.
Yeah.
Wow. Who has the most ridiculous demands in a photo shoot? Of all of you guys. Like, who needs
Me.
Who needs the mango tea? Who needs more time in the chair?
It's easy to get from talk.
We're just goofing around the entire time. So what's really cool about this picture, and it's kind of a full circle moment. So the other day in Toronto, we did like a CD release at 18 Weights clothing store. It's like our favorite clothing brand. And we actually did the CD release at the store of where we met the photographer and we're basically outfitted. And then we did the album shot with our fans. So fans could come in and do the same shot and it was really, really cool. I thought that was a special moment.
When you have those moments, knowing there's an album coming out, the bloody light, do you feel that energy and are you excited about it? Like what's going through your mind at this point? Like this is the next step in your...
Yeah, I mean, we worked really hard on this record and we've been listening to it for a long time now because it's been done since this time last year. We always thought we were really onto something good and so far so good. Like everybody's reaction is what our reaction was, which is we just really felt it. It's exciting. It's always like a new chapter and you always hope for the best and you just get out there and promote it.
Having made music together for this long, is it quicker when you know something is going to be good? Like, do you? Yeah.
It's 100% about finding those moments.
Yeah.
So like, it's like anything in life. Like if you find a really good book, you can read it and it's like the time just goes by like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's a really bad book, it takes forever. And it's kind of like that with making a record. Like we had to go through a couple of different like producers and studios. Like we weren't feeling it. Things were taking a really long time. And then when we got together with Brett and Jay, who co-produced the record with John Angus, Brett and Jay from the Glorious Sons, it was immediate. And we got that feeling again. And that's kind of the way every record's worked with us. It's like it gets to a point where, we're slogging it out, writing the songs, it's hard. And then something clicks. And then all of a sudden like 5 or 6 songs get done really quickly. And then we're pretty good at knowing that's the thing we should follow. That's how this came about. But it's hard to get there. Like, you have to work and it's lots of hours and you're just hoping you can get to the point where it just feels nice and smooth and awesome.
Do you have a favorite song from this album? Is that not a good thing to ask, but is there one that you just like?
For me right now, I kind of love them all. My nephew, his youngest, is 2 years old and he's obsessed with the Trews. So anytime I'm watching my nephew, I hate the Trews by the end of it. Thankfully, he got him onto the Beatles. So yesterday when I was watching, I'm like, no, the Beatles are good. Beatles.
I like that in that ranking. It's the Trews and then the Beatles.
Yeah, I can live with that. And I can also live even the Beatles than the Trews because then we'll listen to the Beatles more often. Because as much as I love the Trews, it's my whole life. It's like I don't necessarily want to go and listen to it all day. But right now I'm loving all the songs in the record.
I love that.
All right, let's pick a second one.
So this is the piano at Glen Road, I imagine. So we grew up outside of Antigonish, Nova Scotia, very small town. We didn't even live in the town proper. We lived in like sort of countryside outside. Our parents were, I don't know what you call it, ex-hippies. Maybe they were still hippie adjacent in the 80s.
In spirit.
But yeah, there was a lot of instruments around the house. There was piano, there was guitars, there was a lot of records. I remember thinking that my dad looked like Bob Dylan on the cover of one of the tracks. I thought it was a picture of my dad. Just music was always around. There was songbooks. So music was just always a part of the culture.
Yeah.
And I know Jack grew up in a similar kind of house, and he lived just down the street from this house. So we all sort of
really?
together.
Yeah.
So did you guys know each other?
Yeah, my mom used to
did.
babysit him.
That's wild.
For some reason, in that old country home, we had like a slanted floor in one of the rooms. Do you remember that? Like the floor was slanted. I don't know why.
Perhaps poverty?
No, but it wasn't slanted
an
like
old
this. It was like
farmhouse,
actually just slanted, like it was built like that. And I remember we had Thriller on the vinyl, and we'd just be jumping around dancing to that album like constantly. Yeah.
You know, I've been having a lot of conversations lately about long-lasting friendships. Like there's a group of guys that I've known since probably like grade 9, right? And we still get together for coffee, maybe once every couple weeks.
I love
And
that.
the question often comes up, if we met today, would we be friends? Like, would we like each other as friends? And I love the phenomenon of the three of you guys. I mean, obviously there's family there, but even there's complications sometimes working with family.
yeah.
And I'm sure this question comes up a lot, but I really would be curious to know about how and why this works as well as it does. And what are the you know, the secret sauces about being able to work together, being able to give each other space? What does respect look like in a relationship that's been going on for so long?
It's a great question. I think, you know, the three of us, I mean, and I don't know, it's a chicken or the egg thing. Like we all have the exact same sense of humor, so we always laugh at the same dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But also we had a lot of success together too. So early on, we were making like a really good living by the time we were in our early 20s. And then we had like multiple successes together, and that can kind of forge a pretty good bond. It's like being on a winning team, or, you know, and that's a good feeling. And then we had enough of that, plus the friendship going into it. Like we used to, you know, I always thought the Tragically Hip song Family Band was about us, even though it probably wasn't. But there's that line, there's other things I'd rather be doing, even nothing with you. And we, you know, we've been driving around in the middle of God knows where in America at 3 a.m. looking for a hotel and just laughing hysterically at how ridiculous it all is. So that kind of stuff keeps you together, and we just love making music. Like it's the best job in the world, no matter whether it's being streamed or downloaded, whatever. It's still really great, and I think that's probably what keeps us committed to it. You know,
And the highs and lows, right? You experience that all together, and that creates a bond.
I talked to, it was a professional comedian. I think it was actually Russell Peters. I ran into him at the airport this summer. And
Oh boy.
he was just like,
that was a loaded oh boy. That's for the next.
make the flight?
That's for the next question.
we had a nice chat. 'Cause I met him years and years
Yeah.
before. But like every failure and success as a stand-up, or maybe as an actor, you know, like it is a solo thing indefinitely. You go through the fit, and when you think about failure, I remember Jim Carrey telling this story one time about driving himself from Burlington to North Bay through a snowstorm, bombing, and then driving himself back home because he couldn't afford to stay in North Bay. That's a long drive. You're by yourself. And one thing about the failures is it's spread out in a band. You know, like you can, whether the gig goes good or bad, you're probably crowded around a case of beer in the dressing room laughing about it. You know what I mean? And like that's the sort of like the good thing about a band, you know, it's like that you can all spread out, you know, and then when there's a victory, we all claim it.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you guys take
We
the
all
time?
take all the credit.
But it was me, I did.
Yeah, but do you
No.
take the time to enjoy those highs too? Like, I think a lot of people forget to reflect on
Well,
how
an interesting-
incredible these moments are.
An interesting thing started happening with a couple of years ago, just with streaming and everything. A bunch of our records started going platinum, and like they were gold before another platinum. We got a bunch of them, and you know, I took all the credit for that. So no, I'm just kidding. No, but we were all like, this is really cool that it's still working, and I think we're pretty good at actually spreading out none of us are too egotistical. It's very, you know, we're very Canadian that way. And everybody always says like, aren't you like the Gallagher brothers or something? I'm like, no, we're not, you know, maybe if this record gets bigger. We tend to be pretty humbled by it because it can be a humbling profession. Like, you know, you start showing up thinking you're going to get the royal treatment, and that's when it's like the worst gig of the whole tour. You have to kind of stay humble, I think. I'm pretty sure.
And in this photo, just going back to this photo, you guys are wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, that's also poverty. No,
Yeah. I think we've all gone through this.
I had cousins too. Their mom dressed them exact, and they were, you know, I don't know how far apart are you guys?
2 years.
So
Yeah.
See the guitar. We're the same. We're just kind of half joking about the part. We have very grew up in a good house.
Yeah.
We're hardworking parents, but they were very much they wanted music in our lives. They put us in
That's it,
early, and we were from a very young age very into
It was instilled in you. I love that.
How present in your memories, and I guess even in your like muscle memory when you're on stage, are like the worst bombing moments that you've had? Like how present are
They're
they?
always there.
Are they always
And
there?
things can trigger that feeling.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you can have these memories of like, okay, so talk about a humbling experience. So we drove up to Ontario in 2001 because we wanted to make a go of it up here. We couldn't afford a place in Toronto. We had moved to a place in Niagara Falls. But we did have an ally in the late, great Jeff Healy, and we played his bar.
Oh, Jeff Healy.
Yeah, we were his house band. So he hooked us up with this gig in Nathan Phillips Square, which was the Run for the Cure. And we were going to play in front of 10,000 runners.
Right.
Wow.
But they were going to do it just as the gun went off and the 10,000 runners started running the other way. So we got up in front of 10,000 people who slowly turned their backs to the band. And the gun went off as we started to play, and we just watched 10,000 people run that way. So that's a core memory of what this business can be like. Thank God that hasn't happened since. But
people haven't signed me to the
But once in a while, you do have to ground. I mean, I don't want to get too, but sometimes it's good to ground yourself, because sometimes, things can happen in a gig. Oh my God, this reminds me of the time that this happened and everything went to hell. But then you can kind of bomb it yourself then, right? You go into that place where you're reliving a moment that's not actually the present. It's just like your past coming up.
Yeah.
So that's a good question. Like it's never far away from you, but you have to keep it.
Grounded.
Well, on the
And you're
flip side, there are a bunch of runners who have this memory of being played off by the Trews while they go on this massive marathon. They're like, they got pumped up by it.
They were, you got them started. It's a great way to look at it. Okay, let's do another one.
Oh, you have to.
This is the most recent thing. We just went over to Latvia to play with, play in front of the troops who are based at a NATO base, and of course they have the Tim Hortons there. Apparently, this is the most popular coffee place on the base. Even
Really?
for Polish and Italian and Spanish, everybody goes here for some reason. Because it's great.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the day that they were taking us around and showing us the base.
Yeah.
And the first thing we did was get one of those.
How do you take your coffee? This could be an argument. How do you take your coffee?
I'm 2 milk, 1 sugar.
Dark roast, black.
See, I knew it. I knew it.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, with Tim Hortons, I can't. I'll usually go just black, but with Tim Hortons, I have to go double just for. It reminds me of my child. It's like the first coffee I ever had was Tim Hortons.
That's right. It brings you right back.
Yeah.
And I actually really love Tim Hortons on the road. It's kind of like comfort for me.
Comfort zone.
It's the same thing. Anytime that I've
All of
gone
us,
on tour with shows that I've done, you're always scrambling to just the craft table to get that pour in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
But this is so important for you guys, right? To go and
play for the
visit.
troops.
Yeah.
That was a very intense day too. That just happened. We just got back from
This is like last week.
And so we were at the NATO base in Latvia, just outside of Riga. Beautiful, beautiful city in Eastern Europe. And there's like about 4,000 troops on this base, and they were really grateful for us to show up, and they wanted to show us around everywhere. And then at one point they were like, okay, here's your tactical gear. We're going to go run a military exercise you can watch. And it was done by the Italian army. And they're just like, just don't touch anything because it could be C4. We're like, noted. And so we went out and they ran an entire military drill with like 4 guys in trucks with like giant machine guns. And basically they have to run a war game where they go out into this field where they have all these old VW vans set up where they shoot at pretending to be like the enemy target, which would be the Russians. And then they go out and they start firing, and then they have to put the C4 down, and they're like, plug your ears, and it blew up and like rattled my inside. So I was like, this is insane. And I mean, good on them. Like, they're brave boys and girls, but it was very intense.
Wow.
I bet.
I can't even imagine.
What is for you guys, the significance for playing for our troops?
I just think that these people are like really salt of the earth individuals. The East Coast is overrepresented in the Canadian Armed Forces, which I'm sort of proud of that fact. Like, a lot of people put their hands up there and say, yeah, I'm willing to do that.
Right.
So at that NATO base of 4,000, 3,300 of them are Canadian. And we get invited a lot for obvious reasons. The song that we did in 2010, and I think it resonated a lot in that community. So we get invited a lot. And we're, regardless of the geopolitics of it, we're always willing to go play for these boys and girls who, again, they put their hands up first to say, like, yeah, I really believe in Canada, and here's my proof. So always happy to play for them. They're great crowds. Like, every time we've done it, we've done one in Dubai, we've done one in Spain, we've done one in Riga now. We went over to Normandy in France and played the beach on the 80th anniversary. And they're always really good people. They they really appreciate us being there. And again, they have really hard jobs, and uncertain jobs. And so we're happy to give them a little night off, a little entertainment. So.
And it goes back to a song we wrote called Highway of Heroes, which was just written for a girl from our hometown. So we really I never thought that I would ever write like a song for the military. Not that I don't appreciate everything, but it was a girl that these guys went to school with. My mother was really good friends with her mother. And it all came down to like a conversation I had with my mother one night when they were writing a book about the girl. Her name was Nicola Goddard. And she died in 2006 in Afghanistan. And then 2009 was when they wrote a book about her called Sunray, and they interviewed everybody in our hometown about it. And that's basically what the song was just written for Nicola. And it just obviously really attached people in this line of work really got attached to it. And I'm really glad. And we always say it's a song for the troops, not for the war, because we're certainly not.
Well said.
For the war.
Yeah. Is there any family that have been associated in any way with the troops? Is there any history? And
Everybody's grandparents.
your grandfathers?
And we've gotten to know a lot of these folks over the years just from visiting. Again, we knew Nicola, who inspired the song. She was student council at our high school.
Wow.
We were like a burgeoning young cover band. She booked a bunch of ne'er-do-wells, but she booked us to play like the high school dance and stuff like that. And so, yeah.
How does it feel to play that song? Because I'm assuming you do it very often, and to know that you've written this song particularly for her.
Kind of right away. Like I remember, because we wrote it with Gordie Johnson from Big Sugar over the phone. And it was done in about 15 minutes. And I remember when I sang it back, and this has never happened to me and it hasn't happened since, I just started crying while I was singing it. And I was, I'm not usually just so moved by you know what I mean? Like But I was moved to tears just by the whole thing. I was like, whoa. And then we just started playing it before it was even out, and people are just having that reaction every night. Yeah, I mean, like we still have moments with it. I mean, that was a long time ago now when we first wrote it, and we still play it every night. And especially when we played it at Juno Beach on the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and it was in front of the entire world, and the former Prime Minister of Canada and Prince William, and that was, and all these veterans of World War II. That was overwhelming. So there's been moments where it gets, and then there's other really way too overwhelming moments where like a girl would be in the front row holding her brother's dog tags up from the Afghanistan war and like crying her eyes out. And I'm like, you give her a hug, like what else? I don't know what to, it's almost a bit, it's a lot. And I'm still grateful that music can help in that way.
Yeah. For sure.
Music does touch the heart, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
We had to.
You're still wearing that. We wore them on beat.
Nice.
I took mine off. I wasn't sure like how time, like if this was going to go out soon. But like this morning was live. So I wore Jay's jerseys. We did the opening. We threw out the opening pitch. He in particular threw out the pitch.
If you don't look for it online. It was awful.
Immediately after they leave, first thing
I have the story if you.
I want to say for sure.
So we were promoting our 2018 album called Civilian Airs, and they were actually using, the Blue Jays were using our lead single or the second single called Vintage Love. And the line is We Want It All, which is still your line, you still use it. But we were asked to play the tailgate party outside, and then we throw the opening pitch, and I was elected to throw it. I was at a Blue Rodeo concert the week before, and I ran into Ron McLean, from an old buddy of ours.
Hey, Ron.
And I said to Ron, I'm throwing out the opening pitch at the Blue Jays game. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to practice for this. It'll be fun. Ron's like, dude, you got to go get some baseball gloves and you have to practice because it's about 55 feet from the plate. I'm like, ugh. And then I went into primal panic. So I went to the next day. I was with somebody who had a cottage in Minden, Ontario. And the next day I went to the Canadian Tire, bought 2 gloves and a baseball. And I got our neighbor in Minden to come, and I just counted out the pace, like 50 feet or 55 feet. And I practiced for a long time before doing it. And that was just enough to make it awful.
Oof. There are a few things to me as terrifying as the idea of throwing out the first pitch.
So if I had just gone cold and thrown it, because I played baseball growing up, I could have remembered, it's fine. But now I was getting in my head about it. And after not playing baseball for years.
There's another part of the story. We played before the game. So we came out in our stage gear, not unlike this.
Right.
And then right before we got out to the mound, they gave us our jerseys, which had our names on them. But then all of a sudden you're like,
That's
yeah.
Right.
The codes. So man, like now you're like.
So I threw the ball down to King Street. Like, and basically the guy trying to catch it, one of the players, I can't remember his name right now. I think he strained his arm trying to catch it. It was just way off. And so that's that story. And then I pretended to be so disappointed, I like pratfalled and was like,
But you got to do it.
Yeah.
but I did, but not again. And then the worst part on Twitter, after that, the Blue Jays posted because I'm the singer.
Yeah.
Perfect pitch, we think not.
Oh no!
So there's our Blue Jays.
They did you dirty, but
Even when we just for one week.
Oh my God.
I was 11 when they won the World Series, and I now have an 11-year-old who's getting done.
Oh, what a circle.
Everybody's so excited. I mean, it's like the whole country is so excited, and we're really rooting for them, obviously. But we also did a home opener anthem. So now we're old. We've done a lot of anthems, but we hadn't done many. I think it was our first big ask. It was like 2007, and we did the home opener at the Sky Dome against the Royals.
right.
What's the sellout there? Like 55, 60,000? It was like it was a sellout stadium. And I just remember they bring you out from the dugout, and they're like, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats. Join the Trews in singing of the national anthem. Everybody rises and nobody cheers. It's the anthem.
Right.
And I just remember walking from the dugout to the pitcher's mound with these three guys and our old drummer, and just hearing the squeak of our boots. And like 55,000 people standing at attention.
Get quiet. Yeah.
Are you like looking at each other at this point? Like, what the fuck's going on right now?
I don't think we'd ever done an anthem.
No.
And it was like a sold out Rogers Stadium for the first, or Rogers Center. And like, anyway, but then we got to the mound, and luckily I had my guitar. I'm always willing to hide behind a guitar. Like,
Right.
G,
Bing, ready to go.
But then the moment comes to anthem.
Yeah, and everything. Wow,
It's
yeah.
just that lonely walk to the
Right.
to the mound. Perfect silence with 55 people staring you down.
The big exhale afterwards. Hey,
I mean,
Just the
I
big
think you need to do
feeling
the
after.
anthem again, right? Like maybe Game 7. Let's make this happen.
Yeah.
Game 7.
get you back
I
here.
think we got it.
This is a great picture.
We played with the Boss in Munson at Magnetic Hill, which is a big outdoor festival site that they have big shows at. We went through our road manager and said, because this doesn't always happen. We've been on enough big shows to know you don't always meet the headliner.
Right.
Sometimes they're aloof. Sometimes they stick to themselves.
Sure.
Sometimes they're really friendly. And we've had all those different experiences. But we went to our TM and said, can you just gently ask if we can go say hi to Bruce?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, he's agreed. We'd love to meet you guys. It's going to happen right before he goes on. So just stand near the entrance of the stage, and Bruce will be right along. And you tell this part of the story better, but like somebody spotted like a golf cart going absolutely mental off in the distance. And like backstage at these kind of festivals, it's like escalades and security, Secret Service style security kind of thing.
It looked like Obama was showing up, like with the amount of escalades. But all the escalades pulled up, and it was really tight security, and slowly all the backup singers and the band were getting out, and there was somebody ripping around on the golf cart. I'm like, that guy's getting fired, whoever that is. Right. And as the golf cart got closer, we realized, oh, that's Bruce Springsteen.
No way.
Max Weinberg and Little Steven in the golf cart just ripping around.
That's
Drove himself
awesome.
on the stage and was like recklessly driving around, which was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then he got out and was super cordial and kind. And
Yeah.
where are you guys from? And we're like, we're from down the road. And he's like, oh man, well, thanks
Was
for
it-
being on the show.
Was it easy to talk to him? Sometimes I find myself at a loss for words if it's someone who is that important to me.
He like radiated. Like, it was like meeting a superhero.
Yeah.
And like his chin, it was like, it was
Right.
glorious. Like you just look at him. Like it's just that star thing. He's
Yeah.
got such an abundance of it. And he just came right up. He's like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm not gonna do my percent. He's like, I'm from Antigonish. And he's like, where is that? I'm like, it's 2.5 hours down the road. He's like, cool. Do you know Twist and Shout? I'm like, yeah. You meet the Beatles? Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
right on.
And he's like, come sing it with me in the encore. And we're like, what the holy, okay. 3.5 hours later, he goes,
There you are.
give it up for the
Are you kidding me? Really?
Wild.
That's on YouTube. You can check that
That's
out.
so
That's
cool.
The
amazing.
best thing about doing Twist and Shout with the E Street Band is it goes on for 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't get up.
They just keep, yeah. It's,
You don't
keep
get up for
going.
the 3-minute version of Twist and Shout. You get up for
14 minutes.
this
You're
might be
living
just
it.
my memory that I like to think of, but I do believe he said, "Please welcome the Trews," and then counted off the band. Like his Bruce Springsteen, like, whoa.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I've seen it.
That's incredible.
My biggest challenge once he had invited us on stage was we're off duty now. We've played our show. Yeah. I'm going to go watch Bruce. I'm going to have a good night. My biggest challenge was like, I can't drink too many of these beers. Because we're back on stage in 3 hours, and 3 hours is a long time. So I had to decompress a lot slower that night.
That's amazing.
A lot of fun. Incredible.
What a ride you guys have been on, man.
All these stories of...
It just doesn't even, and once it all happens, I'm glad there's photos because it almost doesn't feel real after a while. You know?
Capturing
so next time he decides to clear out your Instagram, you got to check in first and be like, yo, hey, whoa, hey.
It's not the Bruce picture.
Not the Bruce picture.
These photos are either, I have that one
And you have it signed.
framed, and Bruce signed it.
Oh, nice.
A mutual friend who had Bruce sign it, and we were just in the UK actually playing our first time in the UK in several years, and then Deliver Me From Nowhere was having its premiere. Jeremy Allen was at the premiere. And a fan of ours who was coming to our show went to the premiere and met Bruce and said, I'm going off to see the Trews after this. And he's like, those Canadian guys.
Nice.
So that was nice to hear.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So your new album, when is it out?
Yeah, it's out now.
It's out now, and wherever you stream or buy music. And
Yeah, come see us live.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are the shows?
Well, we have a few shows left this year. We're playing Toronto at the Danforth, and we're playing out in Red Deer and in Barrie. And then we do the big new casino in Niagara. And then we go out west and start making our way back on like a national tour. So Vancouver all the way back here. So all tour dates are on this.
Well, I don't expect any audience members to get up and just start jogging off like they did. But if anything like that happens, remember, at least Bruce remembers you.
Bruce remembers you.
The Trews, guys.
Congratulations on the Trews. Thanks for being here, guys. That was awesome. Thank you.